I want everybody to know that God is real and to stay in alignment with your higher self, your higher purpose. Um, do activities that bring the best out of you and not the worst out of you. Understand that there's a high level of low vibrational entities around, but also with that awareness, there's high vibrations around as well. So we just need to have more awareness where we're trying to go and what we're trying to do and what's going to make us happy in the long run. Um, well, I definitely did that to definitely be so clear to cut the cord that I don't want to have anything to do with this person at all. I don't want to work with them. I'm even embarrassed that I have worked with them because it's literally shattered everything that I've tried to build after doing that work in my life. If I have I always said when I was a kid, I never would want to regret anything, but this I regret. I regret that we ever worked together because it's turned my life completely upside down. She's not been able to let me go. She's not been able to let me progress into a mature woman and work with other people, build other great entities and statues and trophies that develop in the arts world and music. She's just been a savage, stealing my intellectual property, stealing my ideas, just basically doing anything and everything to damage any type of happiness that I could have had up to current. That be in my own independent career, establishing my own company, my own music, relationships, whether it be business partnerships, personal relationships. So I've had to do a lot of work, a lot of practice of self-love. I know that, I was that kid that grew up and always did the right things and always studied really hard and always did a lot for whoever I was working for and the company. And, that time has come and passed over and over again. And it's just been a nightmare to try to move on and do other things with other people without it getting totally destroyed. Other people I've worked with that have been on a plateau have been paid to fire me. I found this out, and then it just kept happening. So it was like, it was a pattern. You get really excited about something, you build it up, you invest all this time and everything in it, and then, she comes and pays people to fire me and insult me, and it's just been disastrous. And, I'm pretty strong, so I've, kept my train moving forward and establishing new relationships and in different entities of the industry. Stepping away from jazz, going into pop, going into hip hop, going into independent writing, composition writing, teaching, touring, television, inspirational speeches, helping people cleanse, become more aware of, their purpose here spiritually, Broadway. And so I have a lot to give to the world. And she's just, I think there's a huge amount of jealousy there that she hasn't discussed with me. And but everybody knows, it's interesting that, the public doesn't know all these things, but the people that are associated in the higher powers, to say more or less do, and I've just been bullied this entire time. This has been going on for a very long time. And so it's taken God's strength, actually, to really make me get up and go stand up for myself. And doing that, starting with a restraining order. I don't want anything to do with this person, at all. I've said that for a very long time. I've even relocated cities and houses and apartments, and ways have been found to manipulate that and control that. I've lost a huge amount of money dealing with this situation. A lot of money has been stolen from me. A lot of rental deposits have been stolen from me. Just any money that was ever coming to me has been stolen and manipulated by this person. And it's all just a very wicked tactic to just keep me down and keep me under some type of control. And I've had enough, I've had enough. So the fact that I even had the strength to go file a restraining order, which I did, to be very confidential, um, is already was so much for me because I'm such a nice, loving, patient, tolerable person. This has been going on since 2006, and it's just been getting worse and worse and worse. And for a very long time, I put this person on a pedestal. I loved them. I'd send emails, publicly, happy birthday and all this stuff. And the entire time, this person was casting spells and manipulating me and controlling my job situations, my relationships, just all kinds of things. So I come to you very pure with no makeup on. I just got out of the shower. I took an Epsom salt shower. I love that for my skin. And I'm totally into just self-nurturing and self-love because that's what I need right now. My money is tied up right now. Right now. She's trying to force this third world country type of way of living on me in the United States. It's very interesting. I grew up with pets and I lived in New York City for a very long time and I really wanted one. It will be a year that I got the cat and the cat died, like today. Um, Beautiful kitten. She's 3 months old. She was abused and, I went and picked her up. She was beautiful. And we had a good time for a moment and then like a lot of weird stuff started happening and then so I decided to take it back, and I took it back and the cat started doing weird magical stuff. Like I'm telling the person, the nurse, like, hey, I don't want this kitty. Please take it back. It's being weird and I don't, I've lived with cats for almost 20 years as a child. These behaviors I'm experiencing from this cat is challenging my 20 years of education with living with a cat. And so something's wrong with this kitten and I don't want it, and the cat it's had its own personality. It stuck his hand out and grabbed my finger, type of weird, crazy shit. Excuse my French. I'm going to France soon, so I'm just practicing. And so I kept the cat out of guilt, out of, emotional ambiguity. I drained my bank account on the situation and then I took the cat to the West Coast to do a job in San Diego, La Jolla, and more bipolar activities started happening. I was getting abused every time I came home from work and I'm talking about like 12 to 16-hour days. I come home to rest and then the cat is like, well, not 12 to 16. I mean, I would have breaks because that's like, I would come home for lunch every day and then come home for dinner and then I would come back to rest. And I was just getting abused to the point where I'm still healing from a scratch on my rib cage at this time because it drew blood. It was awful. It was very, very awful. I've never been attacked by an animal, and I was at this time. And my scar is still healing on my rib cage. So it was so manic and gnarly that I ended up calling two psychics to, like, I got the first word from the first psychic, and I didn't want to believe it, so I called later after like right before this happened to get a confirmation to make sure, because I didn't want to release this cat. I have an emotional attachment to pets, as we all do. And they were like, the cat has a spell on it. And I said, well, what about this person, that we are discussing at this time? They're like, yes, this person put the spell on the cat, and you need to get rid of it, like right away. You need to do something because otherwise you're going to be in really, really, really huge trouble. And so I've been being followed this entire time. I'm dealing with a group of people, her specifically. They practice this. I don't know jack shit about witchcraft and magic spells and all this stuff. And I don't condemn anybody who does. Everybody, we live in America. It's the First Amendment. Everybody has their right to express freedom of speech and freedom of practice of religion or no religion. So I'm very well aware of that. And that's also why I'm not religious, so that I can interact with all types of people. I'm very spiritual. I don't like diversity and I don't like discrimination, because it just keeps us at a negative separation from each other. And, so I'm being followed this entire time. I have colleagues that are seeing this happening that I'm working with, and we're all like, this is crazy and this is gnarly. And so the cat was taken back to her people, like, and they killed it. So, and I have it on video, and I'm just like, I can't deal with this shit. But at the same time, it was a new job, and I couldn't like not do my new job. And so I went into work, like my eyes totally bloodshot. Everybody thought I had smoked the biggest, bag of Bob Marley. And, I was just like, no, I didn't do that. But that's cool that you guys are, cool if I did. But no, that's not what this is, like literally my heart just got ripped out. This is very emotional for me. And, one of my true loves has been absolutely destroyed and is no longer with me. And I'm here at work trying to keep a happy face on. And yes, it was very emotional for me. And so, like I said before, the cat would have been a year old today. I've completely stayed away from pets because I don't want to endure that type of situation and experience anymore. I'm trying not to cry right now. But, yeah, this restraining order was not done as a publicity stunt. I don't want anything, and I really want to make that clear. I want nothing to do with this person. Like, this was not to up my career. This was not to jumpstart my drumsticks, my CDs, my music, my label. I don't want anything to do with this. If you even offered me money, if anybody was offering me money for interviews, I would not take it. I don't want anything to do with this person. Like, I want it dead. And it's even as far as me taking the legal matter and taking steps into putting it on writing and saying it, literally, that I don't want anything to do with this entire situation, with her money, with whatever she's got going on. I found a lot of my intellectual property stolen by her, my ideas, my drawings, the things I say, the things I do. She's even encouraged other celebrities to also steal and copy my ideas and things like that. So this has been a complete nightmare. I've been absolutely like, I don't want to say the word raped, but just brutally abused with this entire situation of her trying to control everything that I'm doing and where I'm going. I mean, I've even traveled to different cities and been followed with this witchcraft stuff. And it's like, so it's completely, compelled me to go into the light, go straight to God. Like, I don't need a third party, like, completely be very nice, be very loving, step in light, stay away from conflict because there's negative energy going on, and I don't know who to trust anymore, like, at all. Not that I'm like paranoid or anything, but energetically now because of this situation, I'm absolutely trained now to know who's good for me and who is not, Thank you, but no thank you. I don't want anything to do with whatever you got going on. Please leave me alone, and peace be with you. Peace and blessings and light. Please go heal whatever needs to be healed, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. I mean, I feel that because I was young doing this type of work in the industry, propelled so young in the industry, that I may have had a lot of insecurities about my own abilities, and people were making a ton of money off of that. And I wasn't facing fears, and that's what we're here for, to strengthen our soul and go through fears and heal, basically. And to heal, you have to walk through the door of your fears. So with that being said, people who are being bullied, you have to face yourself. You have to practice self-love. You have to nurture yourself a lot more. Those people who have been abused or sexually molested, things like that, know that those things are not your fault. And the person who may have positioned you in such an uncomfortable place, they are in much more pain than you are, than the act itself. There was witchcraft spells being put on me. I mean, I am a beautiful person, inside and out. I'm not here to toot my own horn, but because of all of this abuse, it's made me realize how beautiful I am, and accepting that. I used to be someone who just was very angular and focused on my intellectuality. And I was blind to how my looks might affect others, And so now I'm able to really, really love myself and appreciate myself, my naturalness, which I call God's architecture. All of us are God's architecture, and be a filter for that. So it was getting smarter with that, mentally and spiritually, knowing that I'm not dating anybody right now, but all of these occurrences of sexual pulsations and the people that maybe I think are really cute, but are in the dark, which I'm not aware of, would be being paid to work and manipulate me sexually because it was her order. There's a guy named John Ramirez who just did this transition from out of the dark into the light, and he really goes into great detail about the practices and examples that they do to control people and mentally control them, spiritually control them. And it would just be a nightmare. I meet somebody and, we have a vibe, and then all this other witchcraft, sexual shit starts happening. And after something keeps happening over and over again, you're like waking up to, okay, this is like, really repetitive. And, so I need to wake up. I need to be the change, because whatever that is, it's not going to change. I need to be the change. So let me focus more on me and how I can change and get away from that, how I can be more aware. Oh, this person took money to betray me. The sexual shit was insane. It's a physical connection that spreads into a spiritual thing, which can become limitless, and people are watching you, and people are having sex, people are doing drugs, people are over drinking and practicing in their addictions and their obsessions while you are innocently being attacked, and you're thinking you're having this connection, and it has been fucking awful. Excuse my French, I should stop. It's both situations. There could be both situations. You could be, a dream state, you won't remember very much. But if you're imagining someone you like, or you have some attachment to someone who's, like another celebrity or something like that, and you're not aware that they're also practicing witchcraft and they're also working for this person and they're also a flying monkey, all these terminologies fall into the basket of narcissism and extreme ego. If you study that stuff, then, you'll be very well educated on how these situations fall into alignment and work against you and work in their favor. And it's horrible. It's a horrible experience. And if you're not aware, this stuff can go on and on and on, and you don't even know it. You don't even know it. We're talking about like other situations where changing into animals and jumping into other bodies and all kinds of really crazy stuff. So the fact that people keep saying I'm crazy, hell, the situations I had to deal with and survive are fucking crazy. And so don't get mad at me. This is what happened to me. This is what I had to survive. Thank God you didn't have to have these as your challenges here on earth, because these were mine. These were forced upon me, and I'm lucky to have survived right now. Seriously. Like, man, I mean, it's trying to date and then jumping into other bodies and watching you be like borderline intimate with your new partner, and you're getting all of this, like, what the is going on right now, and them enjoying it, them enjoying watching you be in the dark about the situation, not having the knowledge, you being in the dark and not knowing that you're being totally manipulated spiritually, mentally, physically, financially. I mean, I'm not someone who doesn't deserve financial stability. I work very hard. I've given so much, just to her situation. I did so much work there, and the fact that I've now moved on and tried to establish new work with other people, and that's been colluded, I'm just like, wow, so for me, it's just like, I don't want anything to do with anything that has to do with her. I don't want anything to do with anybody that has anything to do with her. I don't want her money. I don't need her money. I don't need anyone. And I've realized that through this entire time. I've had to self-heal. Even at this moment, there's no one here to console me and hug me and tell me things are going to be all right. I've had to completely depend on God. and God is very, very real. If anybody is questioning that, God is very, very real. In the name of Jesus Christ, all of that good stuff. But God is very, very real. You know, I'm not religious. I'm very spiritual, and that is what's best for me. That helps me connect with everybody. You know, I'm Welsh, I'm Jewish, I'm Black, I'm Choctaw Indian. Why? I'm United Nations, so I can't be, into just one thing. I'm here for everything and everyone, and this was just a really awful situation, and I'm still being stalked. So it's, like I said, sometimes people are not going to change. Sometimes people don't want to change, You have to change. You have to be the change. And if it means you raising your vibration and retraining yourself to do those things, those practices and nurturing and self-love and self-care, then you got to get busy in doing that. Because this low vibration stuff, no one is going to survive in it. Like, it doesn't work.